Hey everybody, welcome back to Rambler's Diner. We're so glad you stopped by to see us today. We've got something interesting for you today. This is a little bit unusual in the United States. It is, in Japanese, we would call this a Menchi Katsu. What that means is it's a minced beef and pork cutlet. So you're taking ground beef and ground pork, put them together with a little bit of panko, an egg, and your spices. Then you bread it with the panko and the egg and some more spices, and then we fry it. And this is what we come up with. Sure looks good and sure smells good. Thanks again for stopping by the diner today. We hope you enjoy what you see. We hope you're inspired by what you see. And if you are, please do give us a like and a subscribe and continue to watch this. Okay, to get started, we have our panko. We have half and half ground beef and pork blend. We have 4 eggs, 2 of which will go in the meat mixture and 2 of which will be for our egg wash. And we have some sweet onion. I've got a tablespoon of garlic powder, a tablespoon of onion powder, about half a tablespoon of black pepper, and a little bit more than half a tablespoon of salt. And to that we will add some Knox gelatin. We'll probably use about half a pack of that. And that's all going to go into our meat mixture to start with, and then we'll get on to the egg wash in a little while. Okay, to start with, we're going to put a half cup of our panko into our bowl here. Okay, and I've taken the liberty of microwaving these onions. This is about a cup worth of finely chopped onions that I've microwaved in advance to put in with our meat mixture. I'm going to go ahead and add that to the panko. And I'm going to add our seasonings, our salt, our pepper, our onion powder, and our garlic powder. That'll all go in. And now we'll take our meat and open that up. And we're going to get that into the bowl. And we're going to take this Knox gelatin, and I think we're going to use about half of an envelope here. This will help hold it all together when we deep fry them. Okay, I think that's probably about enough. And then we're going to take 2 eggs, and we're going to crack in here. Okay, and then I'm going to get my gloves on, and I'll see you in just a minute. Okay, we're all gloved up. We're going to take all of that meat and the eggs and the panko, and we're going to mix them all together. Make sure the spices get well incorporated. We're getting there, we're getting close. Okay, I think we're there. Okay, now we're going to pinch off little bits of this meat. We're going to form it into patties inside of this egg ring. The egg ring is probably a little bit thicker than I want, so I'm going to go about, say, 3/4 up the side of the egg ring. I don't want it to be too thick because it will end up cooking unevenly. And we'll go ahead and form these up. That was a little too much in that one. We'll go ahead and form these up, and we'll see you in a few minutes at the egg wash station. Okay, I misspoke. First of all, these have to go into the freezer for about 20 minutes, maybe half hour. I'm going to check them partway through to see where they're at. They need to firm up a little bit so that we can get the flour and the egg wash and the panko onto them. So we're going to go ahead and put them in the freezer for a bit, and I'll see you when they're ready. Okay, we're going to set up our breading station here. You can see that to about, say, 1.5 cups or so of all-purpose flour, I've added some seasoned salt and some black pepper. I actually ended up with more flour in here than I was expecting. kind of jumped out of the container at me. But we're going to mix that all together real good. I like to have our flour seasoned before we get started. And I put 2 eggs in here, and I'm going to go ahead and mix them up. I think I'm going to add probably about a tablespoon of water to this as well. Matter of fact, I'm going to add 1 more egg to it. Looks a little bit like it's not going to be quite enough for 11 pieces of minced meat. Okay, normally for this minced cutlet in Japan, where we learned how to do this, this is the kind of sauce that you would use. It's called bulldog sauce. You can see bulldog sauce. Okay, that's normally what you would use in Japan for this particular dish. However, if you don't go to an Asian store here in the United States, it's kind of hard to find. So what we've done is we've come up with something that gets as close as possible, and that is by taking 2/3 or 2 parts of A1 thick and hearty sauce to 1 part of stir-fry original sauce. So we're going to go ahead and get our sauce made up, and today we're going to mix it with some mayonnaise because it's going on hamburger buns, and that will be our sauce for today's sandwich. All right, we're just about there. So for the sake of convenience, I'm going to call this our bulldog mayo sauce, and we're going to give it a taste test and see how we like it. That's going to work perfectly. Glad we found this alternative. All right, we're gloved up. We're ready to go. The meat is ready. It's not all the way frozen, but just partially. So what we're going to do now is we're going to dip it in the flour. Going to give it a good coating. Make sure to get the edges and knock off any excess. I'm going to go into our egg wash. Well, that didn't work very well, did it? I guess I didn't get the patties flat enough. I'll just flatten them down into there. There you go. All right, and then into breadcrumbs, the panko. Make sure to get plenty on there. Make sure to get the edges. Okay, now we'll move on to our next one. Mash it in there just a little bit so that it gets covered. Edges. Okay, so here's how the rest of this cook is going to go down. We have the patties that we've made and breaded, and we have our angel hair cabbage, and you remember the bulldog mayonnaise that we made earlier, and we're going to take some Aunt Hattie's potato hamburger buns, and we're going to toast those on the grill while the patties are frying up. I have the Blackstone fired up. I'm on high right now. We're waiting for that oil to warm up. I know some people will criticize using the Blackstone as a fry base, but actually I think it's safer than putting it on the stove directly because there is no oil going directly towards the flame. And we can always use a little bit of extra grease splatter on the top of the griddle to keep it nice and seasoned. And we also need to have the griddle on anyway so that we can toast our buns. So that's how we're going to do it. We're going to wait till it gets up to about 320, 330 degrees, and then we'll start going. Okay, so we want our oil to be at around 320. It's reading about 322 right now, if you can see that. So we're going to go ahead and get started. Okay, we're ready to get started. We're going to take our fish spatula and delicately and gently raise one of those up and put it in there. And we'll just do 2 at a time. All right, I can see they're starting to get a little bit brown. Let's take a real quick look here. Yeah, it's starting. I'm gonna let it go just a little bit longer before we turn it. Yeah, it's getting there. Another minute or so. Okay, I think they're just about ready to flip. So I'm gonna go ahead and flip one and see how it looks. Oh yeah, that's what we're looking for. I'll go ahead and flip this one as well. We'll give him a couple minutes to cruise, and then we'll temp him and make sure it gets up to about 165 because there is pork in there. We want to be safe, and we'll go from there. Okay, while that continues to cruise along, we're going to go ahead and put down a couple of buns here. Going to lightly press them down so that they get toasty. Particularly here, they cup a little bit on the upper part. We just want them to get a little toasty and warm, that's all. Nothing big, nothing fancy. Okay, I think it's about time to check our buns. Oh, beautiful. That's what we're looking for right there. Now, that didn't get a whole lot of toast, but that's because they're cupped. But we're going to go ahead and take them off anyway. We're going to set them here on the rack, and we're going to wait a couple more minutes for those, whatever we call them, to be done. They're up to about 135, and that's not enough. So we're going to go ahead and flip them one more time. They're starting to get dark on that side, so we don't want them to be too dark. We'll flip them, we'll give them another minute or so, and then we'll temp them and see how they do. Okay, so apparently I didn't get these all even thickness, but this one is ready. He hit 170 already, so we're going to go ahead and take him off, and we're going to let this guy cruise for another minute or so and see how we do. Okay, to prepare our buns, we're going to take some of that Bulldog mayonnaise, and we're going to put down on the bottom side here. I'm going to put a little bit of this cabbage on top of that. I'm going to take another little bit and drizzle over top of the cabbage. Just a little. We're going to take our top bun, get it ready. Put some over the top of that. Okay, now when that is ready, it'll all be coming together. And we're going to prepare bun number 2. Same way. A little bit of that cabbage over top of the cabbage with a little drizzle. And let's just do this one a different way. I'm going to take this katsu, this cutlet, and put on top of here. And then I'm going to drizzle a little bit of the mayonnaise on top of that. How about that? Let's see how that works. And we'll go ahead and crown. And we'll take this guy, put him on top of there. And we'll go ahead and crown. And there we have it. Minced beef and pork cutlet. Looks really good, smells really good. Okay, there's nothing left to do but give it a try. So let's cut this open and take a look and see how we did. And there's the big reveal. Oh, looks pretty nice to me. Okay, so let's give it a try, see how we did. That's amazing. That is really good. The flavors of the spices within the meat really stand out. You can taste the onion, the garlic, of course the pepper, but the juiciness is just incredible. I wasn't expecting it to be so juicy after frying it like this, but it's juicy on the inside, crispy on the outside. I'm going in for another bite. And we did good with the sauce. I'll tell you, the sauce really stands out as well. One more bite. That is really good. Really good. Hey, everybody. Thanks again for stopping by Rambler's Diner tonight. We sure are happy that you stopped by. We sure appreciate your time. We know your time is valuable to you. We hope you were inspired by what you saw tonight. It's a very delicious dish, inspired by Japanese cooking. We lived in Japan for many years. We ate stuff like this all the time. Um, we don't eat it much here, but I think we're going to eat it again because it was so good. Anyway, if you liked what you saw, if you were inspired by what you saw, please do give us a like. And if you'd like to see everything that we do here in the Backyard Diner, hit that thumbs up button and the subscribe button, and don't miss anything that we do. Thanks again, and have a fantastic day.